You will never be able to control the chaos of the external world, the volatility of the economy, or the malice of others. But ancient Stoic philosophy provides a definitive solution. You can build an unshakable fortress inside your own mind. This is what the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius called the inner citadel, a psychological sanctuary where no trauma can penetrate. The world will try to find your triggers every single day. Every time you lose your temper, you hand over the keys. A tough mind does not react to threats. It observes the threat, measures the distance, and remains completely silent. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that the mind should be like a rocky promontory against which the waves continually break. The ocean rages, the water foams, but the cliff tames the fury of the storm by simply standing its ground. Your mental toughness is not built during times of comfort. It is forged when you choose to suffer without complaining. External events have absolutely no internal meaning. They have no power to hurt your spirit or break your focus, unless your own judgment decides to label them as a tragedy. The damage only happens when you agree with the pain. Look at the crowd around you. They run at the first rumor of crisis. They leak their energy to panic. They blame fate, they blame leaders, they blame their enemies. They do everything except look into their own minds. Mental toughness is the absolute mastery of reason over impulse. It is the ability to maintain clarity when everyone else is blind.
While the crowd asks, "Why is this happening to me?" the Stoic asks a single question. What is the logical next step?
If you are ready to claim absolute sovereignty over your emotional responses and stop being a slave to comfort, join us. Take a moment to subscribe to @DeepRootsWisdom. Let us grow our inner fortress together, one daily lesson at a time.
A trained mind can convert any disaster into direct fuel. It takes the rocks thrown at it and uses them to build a higher wall. The heavier the pressure outside, the more solid the structure becomes inside. Nothing is wasted. Marcus Aurelius spent his nights writing his own meditations while his empire faced plagues and wars. He did not seek pity. He wrote to remind himself of his duty. He wrote to keep his spirit awake. Your journal is your ultimate mirror.
Write your own rules. Define your boundaries. Do not let a world in absolute chaos tell you who you are supposed to be.
People will try to test your patience. They will insult your dignity, envy your progress, and gossip about your name. Stand tall like the pillar. Let their toxic words slide off your surface without leaving a single permanent trace. You do not owe the crowd an explanation for your silence. You do not need to defend your character to those who are blind. The master of strategy is always unreadable. When you control your tongue, you protect the blueprints of your life. A weak spirit reacts instantly to every minor annoyance, emptying its store of power just to look fierce for a second. Fragility shouts to scare away enemies, but true toughness sits quietly in the dark, waiting for the perfect timing. Let your discipline work in the shadow. Shape your mind with absolute precision when no one is watching the grind. You don't need a camera or social validation to justify your hours of isolation. The result will bear witness. Keep the inner citadel locked. Guard the inputs of your mind, and remember, he who tames his own soul tames the universe. The second phase of building your fortress requires absolute emotional insulation. The storm outside cannot harm you unless you let it inside. Most people break because they possess no internal barrier. Every piece of gossip, every minor slight, penetrates their core. A Stoic develops an unreflective surface. You must become like the glass, allowing the world to hit you without altering your internal state.
Think of the immense amount of time you waste trying to correct people's perceptions of you. That time is gone forever into the abyss.
Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that life is too short to be spent worrying about what others whisper in the shadows. Your focus is your ultimate capital. When you give away your attention to petty drama, you are choosing expensive poverty. True sovereignty is built by subtraction. It is the ability to look at 1,000 cheap distractions and say, "This does not deserve my energy." One single moment of unchecked reactivity can poison a whole day of deep focus. Guard your entry points with absolute discipline. When you feel the heat of resentment rising inside your chest, do not speak, do not move. Let the fire starve from lack of attention. Adversity is not a tragedy sent to punish you. It is the heavy hammer required to test the density of your character. Without the heat of the fire and the impact of the hammer, the iron remains soft and useless. Welcome the strike. Modern society is designed to keep your mind fragile, reactive, and constantly dependent on external validation.
They want you to chase the applause today so they can watch you crash tomorrow. Break free from the invisible chains. Disconnect from the collective madness to connect with your own purpose. True intelligence knows exactly what to ignore. Your worth is inherent. It cannot be increased by the praise of fools, and it cannot be decreased by the malice of critics. Be like the lighthouse. The storm does not choose when to hit, but the lighthouse always chooses how to stand.
If you want to protect your strategy, reclaim your attention span, and build a life of genuine sovereignty, join us.
Take a moment to subscribe to @DeepRootsWisdom. Let us walk this narrow path of ancient clarity together.
Every hours of quiet focus, every temptation resisted, adds another layer of stone to your inner citadel. When you master your internal spikes, you become completely unattackable. Your calm composure is the ultimate victory. Do not let a world in absolute chaos dictate your internal state. Your peace is an iron rule, non-negotiable. Let the crowd whisper. Let them judge. Their envy is a reflection of their own limitations, not your reality. You don't owe the world an explanation for your boundaries. A king does not lower his gates for the amusement of the crowd. Keep the inner fortress untouched. Guard the inputs of your mind with the ferocity of a silent commander.
True toughness is not about causing pain to others. It is about being completely immune to the poison they try to feed you.
When you silence the external noise, your internal wisdom finally finds its true, authoritative voice. Starve the chaos by denying it your attention. Build your assets in absolute isolation, away from the chatter. The ultimate revenge is to not be like your enemy. Respond with supreme virtue, or do not respond at all.
Remember this eternal law. Cheap goods require loud advertisements, but priceless value? It speaks for itself.
It speaks for itself, in absolute silence. Keep your citadel strong. Grow your roots.